As Roman surveyed the faces around the table, his inquiry hung heavy in the air like a veil of uncertainty. "Do you believe that the Cairo kingdom is charting the right course?" he asked, his voice carrying the weight of contemplation. It wasn't the invasion by Hector that plagued Roman's thoughts the most, though that alone was a cause for concern. No, what gnawed at him were the fissures within Cairo itself. The lack of trust from the commanders of the southern front echoed louder in his mind than the clash of swords on distant battlefields. Meanwhile, in the hallowed halls of the central government, needless power struggles raged like storms on a turbulent sea. Were it not for Roman and his valiant soldiers, the southern front would have crumbled like a sandcastle before the tide, leaving Cairo at the mercy of Hector's forces. Roman's gaze hardened as he continued, each word etched with a resolve forged in the fires of adversity. Should another conflict arise, at that moment, the central government will not hesitate to conscript soldiers from every corner of our realm, casting them into the fray like pawns on a chessboard. And while the nobles mourn their fallen warriors, the aristocracy of the central government will only tighten their grasp on power, their influence swelling like a tide of self-interest within the kingdom. As the tension thickened around the table, it became evident that facing the harsh realities of their situation was imperative. Each count listened intently to Roman, their expressions a canvas of surprise painted with strokes of concern. Addressing them with a measured tone, Roman underscored the necessity for change. "We must acknowledge the root cause of this conflict, the unjust treatment we endure," he asserted. His proposal hung in the air like a beacon of hope amidst the storm. Just as the nobles in the capital leveraged the central government for their own gain, why can't we, the northeastern region, band together and protect each other? Roman contemplated the unfolding scenario, recognizing the impending shift in dynamics once Dimitry initiated action. He understood that the central government would seize the opportunity to limit his maneuvering time. It was imperative for Roman to consolidate the northeastern region, unifying its factions. Such unity would not only fortify his position but also serve as a deterrent against hasty actions from the central government. Jonathan's voice cut through the tension, probing the depths of Roman's plan. "But will our unity grant us true influence, even in the face of the central government's power?" he questioned, voicing the doubts that lingered in the hearts of many around the table. Yet, if Jonathan were to exclude territories like Lawrence's from the fold, the northeastern expanse would reveal its stark reality, a landscape teetering on the edge of desolation. Most families in these lands rely heavily on imports from neighboring regions to sustain themselves. Jonathan elaborated, emphasizing the critical point that if the northeastern region dared to defy the central government, it risked severing access to essential supplies. The interconnectedness of northeastern businesses with the central authority created a dependency that seemed insurmountable. Breaking this cycle was essential. Otherwise, the nobles residing outside the capital would find themselves inexorably bound to the will of the central government, with scant opportunity for independent action. Roman addressed the assembled counts at the table, conveying that with unanimous agreement and collaboration, he believed they could, at the very least, find a solution to the pressing issue of rations. Roman shows everyone a paper and states that this is the future development plan of the northeastern region. "Our lands may be rugged, but they hold untapped potential," he proclaimed, gesturing to the sprawling mountains that dominated Dimitri's domain. Dimitri's realm boasted an expanse of boundless mountain ranges, a natural fortress, ideal for repelling enemy incursions. Roman envisioned the construction of a formidable stronghold within these rugged peaks, a sanctuary where the people could seek refuge in times of strife. Once reclaimed, these mountains would not only serve as a bulwark against external threats, but also as fertile grounds for cultivation, fostering the region's self-sufficiency. Count Conrad voiced his skepticism, questioning the feasibility of such ambitious plans. Roman assured Count Conrad, "It is indeed possible." Roman reflected on his past experiences. The case of the Heavenly Demon Divine cult stood out as a formidable fortress, capable of enduring relentless assaults from the Orthodox Murim for several years. Nestled within the 10,000 Mountains region, its defenses were bolstered by sprawling mountain ranges stretching hundreds of kilometers. Roman drew parallels between this legendary stronghold and the terrain of Dimitri's domain, noting the abundance of blacksmiths within its borders. Was it mere coincidence, or the hand of fate guiding their path? Roman laid out the plans before the assembled nobles, each sheet of paper a testament to his vision. Marked areas signified where reclamation efforts were underway, a tangible sign of progress amidst uncertainty. With a measured tone, Roman assured them of the time and dedication required, yet promised that their efforts would yield the strength needed to stand firm against the central government's encroachment. As the counts scrutinized the documents, they marveled at the meticulousness of Roman's strategy. Jonathan's astonishment was palpable, noting the intricate detail woven into both the reclamation plans and fortress blueprints. It was evident that Roman's suggestion was more than mere conjecture, it was a blueprint for action. Viscount Lawrence pledged his family's allegiance to Dimitri's cause, a sentiment echoed by the Conrad family. With unanimous agreement, the nobles aligned themselves with Roman's vision. With a sense of finality, Roman christened their union the Dimitri Alliance, symbolizing the region's newfound unity under Dimitri's leadership. The scene transitions to Romero Dimitri's office, where he contemplates Roman's plan, relayed to him by Jonathan. Despite harboring a twinge of regret for Rodwell, who had dedicated himself tirelessly, Romero acknowledges that Roman has become an irreplaceable figure within the Dimitri family. Standing before the window, he remarks on the brilliance of the moon, a silent observer to the unfolding events below. Meanwhile, Marquis Valentino finds himself consumed by frustration in his own domain. For weeks, he has been plagued by unanswered questions, sparked by a letter from Dimitri's esteemed blacksmith, Hendrix. In it, Hendrix reveals that none of his crafted swords have ever graced the auction house. Perplexed, Marquis Valentino embarks on a fruitless quest to uncover the elusive artisan behind the legendary blade, reaching out to countless blacksmiths to no avail. As Marquis Valentino delves deeper into his quest for answers, a worker enters his chambers bearing unexpected news. Someone has reportedly spotted a sword resembling Blaze in the possession of a master blacksmith from the Dimitri estate. Astonished by this revelation, Marquis Valentino wastes no time in issuing orders to hasten his journey to the Dimitri estate. Upon arrival, he is greeted by Hendrik, Dimitri's master blacksmith, who inquires about the purpose of Valentino's visit. Cutting straight to the heart of the matter, Valentino recounts his acquisition of Blaze at the Adelian auction house a month prior. Hendrik confirms having read Valentino's letter regarding the sword. Valentino wastes no time in presenting Blaze to Hendrik, emphasizing its extraordinary craftsmanship and unique ability to channel mana flawlessly. Convinced that the artisan behind Blaze must be among the finest in Cairo, Valentino eagerly awaits Hendrik's reaction as the master blacksmith lays eyes on the remarkable blade. Observing Hendrik's expression, Marquis Valentino's confidence in his suspicions grows. He informs Hendrik that it appears he indeed possesses a sword akin to Blaze, citing a recent report he had received. Hendrik takes a moment to mull over Valentino's words before agreeing to retrieve the sword. Valentino's anticipation swells as he waits, his excitement palpable. Hendrik, meanwhile, considers the implications of Valentino's interest. Surely, a collector of Valentino's stature would appreciate the significance of the sword he is about to unveil. With a sense of ceremony, Hendrik presents the blade to Valentino, revealing its name, Salamander. As Valentino lays eyes on the sword, a shiver runs down his spine. His intuition tells him that Salamander is none other than the magnum opus of the artisan responsible for Blaze. Hendrik confirms Valentino's suspicion. Both Blaze and Salamander were indeed crafted by the same skilled hand. However, he clarifies that Salamander was the initial creation, predating Blaze. Valentino's mind whirls with the implications of this revelation. He desires to possess the Salamander sword. Carefully broaching the subject, Valentino inquires if Hendrik would consider selling Salamander. Hendrik's response dashes Valentino's hopes. The sword is not for sale. It was a gift, and as such, holds sentimental value beyond its craftsmanship. Valentino is taken aback by this revelation, realizing that Hendrik not only possesses knowledge of the sword's artisan but also has a personal connection to them. Valentino's thoughts race as he considers the implications. Could the retired Baron Romero be the elusive artisan behind these extraordinary swords? The pieces of the puzzle begin to fall into place, fueling Valentino's determination to unravel the mystery surrounding Blaze and Salamander. Hendrik's revelation stuns Marquis Valentino. Salamander was not the creation of Baron Romero but rather the handiwork of Roman Dimitry, the eldest son of Dimitry. Valentino's mind races as he processes this information. Roman Dimitry, the youngest ranker in Cairo, and the creator of the kingdom's finest sword, this changes everything. Valentino understands the significance of the story behind each masterpiece. If a sword is merely crafted by an artisan, its value is judged solely by its quality. However, a sword forged by the youngest genius swordsman of the kingdom carries a different weight. Its rarity alone could drive its value skyward. Realizing the potential implications, Valentino knows he must meet with Roman Dimitry at once. The scene transitions to the training grounds of Dimitry. Chris and Roman engage in a practice match, their blades dancing in the air with calculated precision. Chris, with a ferocity fueled by determination, launches a relentless assault upon Roman. Yet, with a grace born of experience, Roman effortlessly evades each of Chris's strikes, his movements fluid and precise. However, amidst their spar, Roman's keen eyes catch sight of a figure standing beside Hans, a glimmer of opportunity amidst the chaos. Seizing upon this opening, Chris channels his aura into a powerful strike, unleashing a surge of energy that erupts into a formidable explosion. As the dust settles and the echoes of the blast fade away, the assembled soldiers gaze in astonishment at the scene before them, Roman standing tall, victorious over his adversary. Acknowledging Chris's formidable tactic, Roman offers words of praise tempered with wisdom. He advises Chris that while such sudden bursts of power may be effective, they also leave one vulnerable to counterattacks. Encouraging Chris to consider a strategy that disrupts their opponent's balance more subtly, Roman's guidance underscores his depth of understanding in combat. Observing the exchange from the sidelines, Marquis Valentino cannot help but marvel at the strength and skill displayed by Roman Dimitry. Indeed, Roman's name has become a topic of fervent discussion throughout the kingdom, particularly following his recent victory over the second-ranked fighter from Hector. Lost in contemplation, Marquis Valentino muses on the potential accolades that await Roman within the ranks of Cairo. Having witnessed Roman's prowess firsthand, he ponders the implications of Roman's rise to prominence, recognizing the shifting tides of power and influence within the kingdom. Marquis Valentino's mind churned with newfound respect as he observed Roman in person. It was clear that Roman surpassed the mere rumors and whispers that circulated about him. The notion of someone like Roman, a humble blacksmith from the depths of the Cairo kingdom, potentially being the most gifted individual on the entire continent, was a revelation that stirred Marquis Valentino's thoughts. His musings were interrupted by Hans's announcement of a guest. Roman turned to see Marquis Valentino enter, and without hesitation, extended his hand in greeting. Marquis Valentino couldn't help but marvel at the thought that this was the very hand that had forged the legendary blade, Blaze. With a smile, he reciprocated the handshake and introduced himself in turn. Moving to a more private setting, Marquis Valentino revealed the purpose of his visit, Blaze. Roman's eyes fell upon the sword, recognizing it as the very weapon he had entrusted to Lucas. Marquis Valentino explained that he had marshaled the considerable resources of his family to uncover the truth behind Blaze's creation. With a directness born of his reputation as the wealthiest man in the Cairo kingdom, Marquis Valentino asked Roman the pivotal question: was he truly the artisan who had forged Blaze? Meanwhile, Roman couldn't help but ponder the irony of the situation. Here stood Marquis Valentino. Known far and wide as the greedy collector, Valentino stood as a figure of considerable influence among the neutral factions, commanding the most formidable troops named Hmong and holding sway over Cairo's bustling commerce. His wealth was a force to be reckoned with, capable of tilting the delicate balance of power in any direction. Yet, despite this potential for upheaval, Valentino had demonstrated unwavering determination in maintaining equilibrium among the four factions. To Roman, Valentino was a fascinating character, a man whose actions spoke volumes about his shrewdness and foresight. As their conversation unfolded, Roman confirmed to Valentino that indeed, he was the master craftsman behind the creation of Blaze. The admission seemed to elevate Valentino to the status of a fervent admirer, as he expressed his profound gratitude for the opportunity to meet the renowned blacksmith. Valentino recounted his relentless pursuit of Roman, describing the electrifying moment when he first laid eyes on Blaze at an auction house, a moment that felt akin to being struck by lightning. He praised Dimitry as the hallowed ground of blacksmiths, prompting him to inquire about Roman's lineage and the source of his remarkable talent. With a sense of reverence, Valentino requested to see the sword that had captivated his attention mere moments ago. In response to Valentino's inquiry, Roman offered a nod of assent before presenting his blade. Valentino's eyes widened in astonishment as he beheld the sword in his hands. With a mixture of curiosity and admiration, he inquired about the name of the blade. Roman, with a hint of pride in his voice, revealed that he had christened it Darkness. Valentino's mind whirled with thoughts as he processed this revelation. He reflected on the legendary status of swords like Salamander and Blaze, acknowledging their unprecedented craftsmanship and power. Yet, in the presence of darkness, a blade infused with intense darkness, he recognized a whole new level of artistry and mastery. The notion of Roman's continuous growth as a blacksmith intrigued Valentino. He pondered the potential of future creations, wondering just how much more formidable Roman swords could become. With a gleam of excitement in his eyes, Valentino presented Roman with a special proposition. His conditions were straightforward. Firstly, if Roman ever decided to sell his swords, Valentino wished to be given the opportunity to purchase them. Secondly, Valentino expressed a desire to be the first to witness each new creation forged by Roman, regardless of location or circumstance. Marquis Valentino's determination to reach Roman was palpable, his expression brimming with enthusiasm as he addressed him. With a sense of urgency, he conveyed to Roman that if he could offer his assurance on two pivotal points, the entire Valentino family would throw their support behind Dimitry henceforth. Roman's surprise was evident as he processed the gravity of Valentino's words. Was Valentino, known for his neutrality, truly considering abandoning that stance? Valentino, sensing Roman's astonishment, emphasized the significance of his proposal. By aligning with Dimitry, the Valentino family would be relinquishing the neutrality they had upheld for so long, a decision not to be taken lightly. Curious about Valentino's motives, Roman pressed for an explanation. In response, Valentino admitted to feeling mounting pressure from the four factions in recent times. Recognizing that neutrality could not be maintained indefinitely, Valentino had begun contemplating which faction to support when the time inevitably came. Learning of Roman's role in founding the Dimitry alliance and his prowess as the artisan behind Blaze only strengthened Valentino's inclination towards him. To Valentino, the logic was clear. With Roman's leadership and expertise, aligning with Dimitry seemed not only logical but also advantageous. Marquis Valentino couldn't deny the financial stability of the Dimitry family, yet the allure of greater wealth remained irresistible. With a wry smile, he confessed to being truly captivated by Roman Dimitry's proposition, recognizing the potential benefits of aligning with such a formidable force. Roman's reaction was swift and resolute. Rising to his feet, he reaffirmed the loyalty pledged by the nobles of the Dimitry alliance to their family name. With a stern expression, he posed a critical question to Valentino. Was the Valentino family prepared to stand alongside Dimitry? Valentino's smile was genuine as he bowed in deference to Roman, assuring him of the unwavering commitment of the Valentino family. He pledged that they would follow Roman's lead without hesitation, even if it meant braving the flames of adversity. Roman couldn't help but be surprised by Valentino's unwavering loyalty, an unexpected ally in their midst. With a warm smile, Roman expressed his gratitude for Valentino's support, acknowledging the significance of their newfound alliance. From that moment on, Roman made it clear that he would depend on Marquis Valentino's steadfastness. In a moment of transparency, Valentino sought Roman's permission to reveal the truth about his role in forging Blaze. With a grin, Valentino expressed his excitement over acquiring such an extraordinary sword. He playfully remarked that he would be overwhelmed with frustration if he couldn't boast about it to everyone he encountered. Roman couldn't help but marvel at Valentino's unique charisma, granting him permission to share the news with the world. The scene then shifted to the grand halls of the Valentino family palace, where Marquis Valentino proudly displayed the fabled artisan sword to a gathering of nobles. He regaled his friends with tales of its remarkable abilities, asserting that even a swordsman of modest skill could repel the aura of a more seasoned opponent. Intrigued, Valentino's friends sought confirmation of the sword's capabilities. With a twinkle in his eye, Valentino assured them that he had never misled them about his collections before. Moreover, he emphasized the illustrious pedigree of the sword's creator, the same artisan who had famously driven away Hector, earning him the title of Cairo's hero, Roman Dimitry of the blacksmith family. Excitement rippled through the gathering as Valentino's friends connected the dots. This was the very sword Roman had wielded to defeat Butler, a fact that added to its mystique. Valentino continued to share insights, revealing that Blaze was just one of 3 remarkable swords crafted by Roman thus far. In light of this revelation, the assembled individuals began to affectionately refer to them as the Roman Dimitry collection. As Roman's famed sword, the Dimitry blacksmiths experienced an unprecedented surge in business, straining to keep pace with the newfound demand. One night, within the opulent halls of the Dimitry palace, Roman strolled through the corridors deep in thought. Suddenly, a figure cloaked in secrecy emerged from the shadows. Mackin, an agent of Valhalla intelligence, approached Roman with a solemn message. Not only had Roman vanquished Hector, but he had also emerged victorious against Butler, a feat that had not gone unnoticed by Valhalla. Mackin confessed that Valhalla had underestimated Roman's influence and power, especially with the recent formation of the independent organization known as the Dimitry Alliance in the northeastern region. In Makin's eyes, Roman had become a significant threat to the future plans of the Valhalla Empire. Makin asked Roman to decide whether he would follow Valhalla or become its enemy. With a smirk and a gleam in his eyes, Roman asked Makin, "Why should I obey Valhalla's orders?"